Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to be talking about some of the news that dropped recently with a new Judge Dredd movie in the works. And supposedly, Taika Waititi is in talks to direct it. Now, look, I'm just going to come out straight up and say it. I think this is a terrible idea. Taika Waititi is a talented guy, but no doubt when he makes his own stuff, it works. But every time he steps into a big existing franchise, it ends up being, well, kind of a mess, right? I've got some real concerns about him being one of the to bring Judge Dredd back. So let's break that down. Why this is happening, why Taika is a weird fit, and what would have been a better move for the franchise. So here's what we know. So far, according to multiple sources, Taika Waititi is in the talks of directing a new Judge Dredd film. Drew Pearce, who wrote Iron Man 3 and worked on Hobbs and Shaw, is reportedly writing the script. So the movie's supposed to have a bit more of a dark humor, and the comics were also known for, while still being a big sci-fi action movie. And they're saying that they could kick off a bigger universe with Judge Dredd content down the road. And yeah, I know this sounds exciting on paper, but I have questions, and I think a lot of fans do too. So most Dredd fans, I know, aren't asking for a reboot. What people really want was a continuation of the 2012 Carl Urban's version, but that movie was underrated. I mean, as hell. It's great. It was very gritty, it was violent, it was grounded, and more importantly, it nailed the tone in the comics. It didn't do a great job at the box office, but over time, it became a cult favorite. People still talk about it, had potential for the sequel, or even a spin-off. Instead of just rebooting it again, starting over, and I get it, Hollywood loves to do this all the time, but it sucks because we were finally getting closer to something that worked, right? Comparing to Sylvester Stallone's Judge Dredd, back in the time, it felt good, but Carl Urban's felt much better, felt much more grounded, okay, so let's talk about the guy at the center of this, which is Taika Waititi, okay? He's not a bad director, right? I want to make that clear, right? His movies, Wilder People and What Do We Do Into the Shadows, Jojo Rabbit, all those are great movies. They're weird, they're heartfelt, they're original, they're his voice, his style. But when you give him a big franchise with a fan base, a certain tone, he just doesn't seem to respect it. Let's be real. Thor Ragnarok was fun, had a good balance of humor and action, but Love and Thunder, it was a clown show. It took powerful stories from the comics, Jane Foster's cancer arc, and turned it into a punchline factory with no weight, no emotional impact. Time Bandits, right? Let's circle back to that real fast. Time Bandits, which was on Apple TV, it premiered in July of 2024, ran for 10 episodes. It was canceled after just one season. That's right. That's a big red flag, right? Apple didn't bring back the show, not because the critics hated it, but because the people just didn't watch it. It never cracked the top 10 in streaming charts in the US. Critics, kind of mid, 76, 66 across. Essentially, what should have been nostalgic, darkly whimsical time travel romp turned into a padded mess. The pacing dragged, the characters fell flat, the show couldn't even maintain momentum beyond the plot episodes. And that said, it's exactly the kind of thing that we don't need for Judge Dredd. If Taika couldn't land the tone of something so whimsical and yet bizarre and surreal as Time Bandits, how the hell is he going to tackle the broader dystopian demands of emotional weight and ideological clarity of Dredd? And the Next Goal Wins, his last movie, yeah, not great. Critics weren't feeling it, and the audience didn't show up. So now we're giving Judge Dredd a character that's all about law, order, fascism, brutal dystopian justice, and expecting him to take seriously? I mean, that doesn't just add up to me. So Judge Dredd is not the light character. The whole world of Mega City is on a bleak, oppressive, and violent. That kind of is the point. The comics are dark satire, yeah, sure, but it wasn't goofy. It wasn't biting. It was political. Dredd is a character that works because he takes himself seriously in a ridiculous world. The satire comes from the world around him, not from the crackling jokes at being quirky, right? This is why Carl Urban's Dredd worked so well. He never took the helmet off, unlike other people, okay? He was always the character, and he never felt like the movie was winking at the audience. I just don't get it. I just don't think Taika can help himself. His style leans in so heavily into awkward humor and silliness, and you can't picture him not turning this into some weird buddy cop movie, ironic narration, and quirky one-liners. And if they're really trying to build a Judge Dredd universe, tone is everything. If you mess that up at the start, it's hard to come back from it. So this might be the last shot this franchise gets. Think about it. If the reboot flops, studios aren't going to touch Judge Dredd again for another 10 to 15 years. And that sucks. Or, I guess it could be a good thing, because Dredd deserves better. The world of 2000 AD is rich, weird, and full of potential. There's so much you can explore beyond Dredd itself. Judge Anderson, the Cursed Earth, the Apocalypse War, But if it only works if you build the foundation right. A bad reboot here doesn't just ruin the one movie, it poisons the well. It makes the brand toxic, and in his eyes, in the industry, and then we're back to square one. Honestly, there was better paths we could have taken. Bring back Carl Urban. Give us Dredd 2. Or do a series on Amazon or HBO Max that continues the tone of the world from 2012's film. Bring in someone like Alex Garland again to oversee it. Or, if you do want to do a reboot, give it to a director that understands the dark ground of sci-fi, right? Or even someone lesser known actually respects the tone of the source material. Taika is a good filmmaker, just not for this. Now look, I don't want this to sound like a Taika hate fest. I don't like him, but the guy clearly has talent. He has a unique voice, and when his humor hits, it really hits. What We Do in the Shadows is still one of the best mockumentaries out there, okay? Hunt for Wild People, fantastic. Even parts of Thor Ragnarok were generally hilarious and well executed. The problem isn't his style. It's where he applies it. If Taika wants to reboot something, there's way better fits than Judge Dredd. Like, honestly, give him Galaxy Quest reboot. Blend the sci-fi meta-comedy right up his alley. Or let him go nuts with something like Flash Gordon, a campy space opera with over-the-top villains, like cheesy dialogue. This is what kind of world where his brand of weird humor would just, like, flourish. Hell, even give him something like The Mask. Not saying that there's another reboot. We don't need another reboot of The Mask, but something like that, where the character who thrives in chaos, okay? Like, Taika would probably kill it. Give him that Looney Tunes, like, energy level type of stuff that he does. Or you give him something like Men in Black. Not the OG stuff, though, but like a side story, like two clueless agents messing things up across space. Like, I think his voice really shines when without stepping on the tone of expectations of a more serious story. But Judge Dredd, that's not the one, right? That's not where we want the jokes flowing. You need grit. You need the edge. You need the sense of dread and control of chaos, all locked into the barrel of a lawgiver. So yeah, I'm not hyped about this. I'm a little worried. I'm actually just out. I'm not going to watch it. If Taika makes this film, I'm not going to watch it. I get why the studio wants the name like Taika. He's got an Oscar. He's made successful Marvel films. He's got a unique voice, but this feels like a mismatch. It's like hiring Wes Anderson to make like a Punisher or give Tim Burton a Call of Duty movie. It's just wrong fit. Look, I hope I'm wrong. I really do. Maybe it surprises us, but based on recent history, I'm not holding my breath. Anyway, that's my take. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think Taika can pull it off? Or are you like me, you're already bracing for disappointment? Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this with your fellow Dredd fans, and I'll catch you on the next one. And remember, I am the law. But I also, just my opinion. See you guys on the next one.